For decades now, flying cars have been a sign of the distant future. But now that we are getting closer to it being a reality, there is more to be considered. Companies like Tesla could end up being the ones to create the flying cars we all dream about. But how would one of these things work in real life? Well, stay tuned to today's video, as we're going to discuss what it would actually take to create a flying car. First up, is the dawn of flying cars finally upon us? Flying cars are something people have wanted for decades now. Films like Back to the Future and Blade Runner guessed that we would have flying cars by the year 2020. Of course, that didn't happen, but it makes you wonder just how close we are to getting a form of flying car. Over the last decade or so, cars have been changing. Gone are the days of a diesel car flooding the air with fumes and destroying the atmosphere. Whilst those cars still exist, the new thing, of course, is electric vehicles. The days of gas, petrol, and diesel cars are moving away, and we're entering a time where most people will have either a full electric vehicle or a hybrid. 2022 is definitely the transition period of this trend, as many companies are switching to creating purely electric cars for the sake of money and the environment. Tesla is one of the biggest car companies in the world, and they're making strides. Just in the last 10 years alone, Tesla has created some of the best cars in the world, and they're all electric. Elon Musk himself has promised lower emissions from the company and vehicles that will run off a brand new solar-powered battery they are producing at the moment. All this talk of electric cars and the future of vehicles sparked a thought in many online. Just how far are we from flying cars? And what would it actually take for us to have them? Well, the first step right now is hybrid flying cars. The main concerns are safety and the fact that many places aren't suited for flying objects. Look at New York, for example. There's no way in its current state that a flying car highway would even work, even if we suddenly achieve the technology. Currently, there are some big investors around the world trying to create these hybrid cars that can ride on the highway, but also fly in the air when they want to. A collection of companies like TerraFugia, Kleinvision, PalV, and AeroMobile have announced plans to soon offer true hybrid flying cars, equally capable of cruising down the freeway and soaring through the skies. Bell Nexus and Joby Aviation have their sights on all-electric, vertical takeoff and landing eVTOL air taxis set to debut in 2023. There are a couple of planned communities being designed in Northern California, says Atkins, with a model of actually having solar panels to charge eVTOLs for a computer service to go in and out of the Bay Area each day. But even as flying cars seem on the cusp of a breakthrough, a whole new class of vehicles are quickly cluttering the skies. Autonomous drones that are increasingly being used for package delivery, surveillance, mapping, news, and entertainment. The biggest obstacle to all this, Atkins explains, is transitioning away from voice-based air traffic control to data link. By data link, she means enabling aircraft to communicate directly with one another with little or no human intervention. Before we get anything close to flying cars in cities, and even in rural areas, there needs to be some sort of flight control. Atkins is creating something that should prove very useful whenever flying cars come around. They're trying to make a fully automated flying system that controls air traffic. It's a fully autonomous system that can communicate with each and every aircraft in a certain space and control what they're doing. It's like a traffic light system mixed with a control center that airplanes have. This isn't going to be released anytime soon, of course, but they are just getting the technology ready for when the day comes. So overall, it doesn't seem like we're getting flying cars anytime soon, but the dream isn't squished just yet. The technology is viable, and it could feasibly happen if the timing was right. Sadly, it's not just a case of creating flying cars and setting them out on the world. There's so much prep needed around the world before these things can hit the streets. The entire world structure of cities and towns need to be adapted and changed to fit these new vehicles. We aren't even at the stage where every area in the world has electric charging stations, so it's going to take much longer for these flying cars to travel the world. On the upside, many companies are creating the technology to make this all work when the day comes, so it's a great thing to look forward to. What do you think about all this? The advent of flying cars might be a few decades away, but at least it should be a reality, unlike those sci-fi films we all watch. And now, stay tuned to the video for some more technology news. So are electric cars better for the environment? As we move into the future of vehicles, more and more people are asking about how clean these new electric cars really are for the environment. It's known that current petrol and diesel cars and vehicles aren't good for the environment at all. In fact, it's been said that in the next 10 years or so, diesel cars will almost be extinct from many roads across the world. world, and everyone will be close to having electric cars. The huge benefit right now to electric cars is the contribution they make to small towns and cities. They improve the air quality in these areas as less gas is being pumped out into the air and destroying its overall quality. Pure electric cars, of course, produce no emissions whilst driving on the roads, meaning that they don't contribute to air pollution unlike normal gas vehicles. But how does electric car production affect the overall environment? Well, despite the product itself not affecting the environment as it uses no gas, the production of said vehicles is what uses so much energy. However, when looking deeper into how these cars are produced compared to other gas cars, the battery is the only thing that affects the environment, and it's a much greener process than an actual gas car. This is because the emissions are created over the car's lifetime, not at the point of production. Though the worst part about production is the creation of the electric car as it affects the environment. The process is slowly becoming better and better for the environment as technology is advancing for the greater good. It looks like more than a third of the overall CO2 emissions from electric cars comes from the actual process of creating the car itself and not from driving it around, unlike gas-powered vehicles. Another great thing about electric cars is their ability to reuse and recycle old batteries from previous cars. This is something that many companies are, of course, looking deeper into and trying to make work even better than it does right now. Their goal is that one day we can have a battery in our home that can store our own energy for our own needs. A universal battery for almost everything and anything we will need. What a cool thing to look forward to. And our final topic of the video. Have you heard about Tesla's new battery that lasts 100 million miles? Elon Musk announced a brand new battery all the way back in 2019, and it's finally coming out soon. Back in 2019, the battery was announced for his vehicle line and the future line of Tesla cars he was hoping to bring into the world. Now in 2022, the battery is about to be released and should be in every future Tesla if the CEO can get it all done. He announced that the battery was meant to last 1 million miles, but since then, the battery is set to last about 100 million miles. Tesla was still pretty young back then, and even today, they still aren't everywhere. More and more Tesla cars and other vehicles are showing up all around the world and will continue to do so until pre-ordered cars are finally made. The Cybertruck was on pre-order all the way back in 2019 and is now set to release over the next few years. Earlier in 2019, it was reported that Tesla's battery research group, led by Jeff Dawn in Halifax, applied for a patent that describes a new battery cell chemistry that would result in faster charging and discharging, better longevity, and even lower cost. The battery technology that Tesla is trying to get through its acquisition of Maxwell could also potentially result in longevity improvements. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed the latest video, and if you did, please let us know down in the comments section. It would be very helpful. Make sure you like this video and comment below, and of course, subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye!